What's up, guys? New RTA tier list, season 20. Going to do something same as before. Well, pretty much most things same as before. So again, I'm working with like the 195, blah, 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 all of the numbers. Main reason I use numbers rather than going for SS, triple S, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. Let's say there is a unit between triple S and double S. How are you gonna put like a tier in between? For this, I can easily make like 97, 98, 98 and a half. I don't know. I can put like a lot of tiers in between. Whereas going like triple S 0.5 or something doesn't really work. So yeah, double S and a half. That doesn't really work. That kind of stuff. Today I'll be looking at the MSW ranking website, which has a lot of statistics. And the cool thing is this one actually has G3 specific statistics. So this one is a bit more advanced than the other one. It also has a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'll make like a standalone video on later or show like during some other time later. So also I'll be writing like the family names and that kind of stuff like on the side, so that might be a little bit slow. And I'm not putting any music for the sake that if I put no copyrighted music, it might get copyrighted at some point, which is kind of annoying for the tier list. So if you're watching this and you want some background noise, just put up like, I don't know, put some music on the background, something like that. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started. I am focusing on win rates, I am focusing on my own experience, and I am focusing why is a certain unit picked or not. Some units are picked like the moment they're supposed to win. Some units are picked in a certain draft where they're pretty much meant to lose. Or not necessarily meant to lose, they're like trying to back up a very difficult draft in the first place. Also, shout out to Mr. Jubagel himself for actually making this tier list. So apparently he has Twitter, didn't even know that. But he made this tier list, so all of the units are in here. If I'm not mistaken, I made a quick scan through it, and I think everything is here, including Weapon Master, so that's pretty nice. I did see one unit that I missed, which I think is currently kind of decent in current season, which is a Susano on a Vampire build. So, because of people requested this before as well, I am going to mention everything with saying like, okay, I'm going to place it at a number so people can also watch this as a podcast kind of thing. So I'm going to say like, okay, Sion is going to be at 100 tier. He's not going to be, but like that kind of thing. So try to keep that in mind. Some point I might ask some questions here and there. I kind of want to limit this whole thing to maximum 2 hours. That's also when the rush starts. So we got a pretty busy schedule for tonight. So let's get going. I think I'm going to just go from A to Z, from top to bottom, and just see what comes. And I'm gonna start with the net 5, so let's see how that works. We are currently at 3 min. Wait, if I have to write the timestamps, it's kind of annoying, but I have to write the timestamps as well, otherwise this is going to be really much pain in the butt to actually find like all of my stuff later. So, first of all, Vanessa, pretty old units. Pretty old unit. Oh, I can't really search by name here. That is annoying. Why can I not search by name on this thing? So I actually have to find Vanessa in the list by scrolling. That's a limitation on this website. But we're looking at Vanessa and we have like a 50% win rate, 2.3% pick rate. This is only G3 data. Keep that in mind. I can like remove the G3 data and then it shows like all of the data. But in this case, I do kind of want to showcase this website because there's a little bit more intel to it than the other one. Can I actually do this? No, it does take me to the website and it doesn't go back. That's kind of annoying. Okay, well, for the people that made this website, actually pretty close contact with them. So those are a few limitations, which you can search by monster, but if you search by monster, you just get the icons. This thing is really optimized for mobile. Apparently not that much optimized for non-mobile, let's call it that way. So yeah, that's actually a limitation for making this tier list, but they do have like just purely G3 data, which is a pretty big up from the SW arena. And G3 data means that this is data only from G3 against G3. So okay, bunch of that said, we have a 50% win rate, a 2.3% pick rate. I can actually check the unit here as well, like see what it's winning against. How late are you? Not that late. What it's good with, what's bad, who's the best like user of that. So of course, Lever using the thing a lot. But yeah, Vanessa. I wouldn't really say that Vanessa is that great of a unit. I think it's a good-ish counter pick here and there. But since the coming of Oliver is just so much better that I don't really want to put Vanessa anything higher. Like 65, maybe 70. That's like by far highest I would give her. So let's go back and let's find Chroma. Okay, this is actually somewhat a pain in the ass of finding units. Is it though? It kinda is. I do really want to use this data though, but this is going to be very time consuming to find all of these units. Probably if I put it by win rate, the win rate of a Chroma is it's apparently high. It is not that high. Why can okay, a Chroma's here. 51. Ban rate is pretty high. A Chroma is not used as much. I feel like a Chroma current season is not that great. I think like a lot of things kind of kill a Chroma pretty badly, but I think it's still a good last pick. Like if it's a last pick, it still very much happens that it is a must ban. So I would say 75-ish. Continuing on. Let's go for ninjas. Let me write that down real quick. We go for 0, 6, 50. It's a pain in the butt, ninja. Okay, so Han. Han is definitely one of the higher win rate units out there. How high is he today? These days. Han. Han is actually lower than I thought in G3. I'm surprised about that. 51.5. Okay. I would still put Han as one of the strongest single target damage dealers in the game. So I'm gonna put it at 85. I might switch him at some point. Check the top page. This is monsters search. We wait to search pool today. Wait, where at the top? I can search for monsters. You mean this one? This one is shit. This one doesn't help. Can I actually have like a search bar of typing? Or writing names or anything like that? Because that doesn't really help. Unless there's something else in here, which I don't think so. Yeah, gonna continue on with the units itself. We have a couple of dragons. Those are not really used. Verd is picked a lot in current season, that's for sure. How often is he picked? Verd has 21.5% pick rate on a 48% win rate. Since you also have Verds being First being what's it called? Man, writing. Okay, I'm gonna do all of the timestamps later because if I have to do all of the timestamps right now, I'm just gonna be wasting so much time. So, if there's anyone in the YouTube comments that want to watch this whole thing, write the timestamps, will be amazing. But yeah, Verd, I would definitely say 85, maybe a 90 because the Swift Verd is also very strong. It doesn't have too high of a win rate. But yes, it is pretty strong. So 85 or 90? I would say 85. Let's keep it at 85 right now. Next unit, Julian. Julian, if I'm not mistaken, has a pretty high win rate. Yeah, Julian has a pretty high win rate, which is 52. And a 5% pick rate, so he's actually starting to get picked a lot more. And if we check the unit, I'm curious what he's good against. He's good against Miles. Barely has any matches against Miles, I guess. Good against a bunch of weird units, but he's good against these kind of crap, which is understandable. That's definitely understandable. So that definitely does have some good value, if you ask me. So I feel like Julian is a pretty solid unit these days. I would say at least 80. I would actually say 85. I think 85. Wouldn't put him more than 85, but I feel like he's pretty on par with Han. He's used in different situations, but he's like one of the strongest single target killers out there as well. And now we continue. Cadiz is it actually has a very high win rate. I saw him up there, but 1.9% pick rate. I'm pretty sure there's just one or two guys like spamming the shit out of them. But I don't know. I literally don't know why this is really a thing. Is it a thing? Yeah, Godly with Benedict. Yeah, there's barely any matches where that happens. He's just Godly with a bunch of like LD units. Let's say the minimum threshold of me putting anything in there is gonna be 1.5%. Let's say 1%. So since he's above like 1%, I'm gonna put him in there. The win rate is actually crazy high, but that's just one high G3 player using like abusing the shit out of it. So that's probably why it's this high. I would say 75 tops. I feel like he's not a bad unit. If you build a good team around it, nah, I'm gonna say 70. Fuck that. Fuck that. He ain't better than that. Yeah, there's probably one of these two guys that like are very good with it, and they just do very well with it, and that's it. So do we actually have Tayor in the use list? If not, I do know some people use Tayor, but he's not in there. He's not in there, so I'm not gonna put him in there. Same for Rakan. I think I didn't see Rakan in the pick list. Same for Perna. Perna's actually, I've seen some people use Perna, but since it's not in the pick list, I'm actually not gonna put it in there. Nope. Okay. Perna not in there. These are not in there. Sean is not in there. Well, I'm still... Do I actually want to put those units in? No, I'm actually going to for like 1% pick rate at least. Because sure, Rakan... Well, I can just drag them in whatever the win rate is. Because Rakan and Perna, they're actually not bad if they go for like full counter setups. They might do well, but it's not that special. Same for Sean, Tayor, I would say Perna. This is all kind of messy. Like, I don't even know about these units specifically. I feel like it's somewhere up there. Zeratul is like somewhere there. It's like one of those, they're really non-dimensional units. They just do one thing and they do that okay-ish and that's it. I think if we go high in the win rate, I think Artemil's pretty high up there. Yeah, 2.3%. And Artemil is 54.5. That's insane. You know why Artemil's insane? It slaps the living shit out of fucking Oliver. So I feel like Artemil in current drafts is actually pretty solid. So I'm gonna put it up there. Lightbird is not... Yeah, Lightbird is barely used. It's just a cleave unit. Lightbird is just a cleavy unit. That's about it. We got Sir Deeks with the Parimer. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Sure, like a lot of things can work in lower ranks because you outclass people in runes. But in G3, you're not really gonna see a Lightbird or anything. Actually, Chloe is picked with a decent win rate. It can counter cleaves and that kind of stuff. It's nothing crazy, but it can counter cleaves and that can do some shit, I guess. Okay, to continue on, we're going to oracles. Well, we can put the pick rate on very high, and we're pretty much gonna see all oracles. Praha's probably lowest of the pick rate, though. Where Praha at? Where Praha at? Where Praha at? This is kind of a pain in the butt to find shit. I'm getting tilted. Why is this such a pain in the butt to find anything? Probably I scrolled through Praha already, didn't I? It's also not annoying that I can't like open in a new tab. It's too mobile optimized of Praha's here, by the way. I can't open that in a new tab and then go back to the previous list that's still open. Those are a few points that this website, it's too mobile focused. That's something that's I would say is pretty bad about this. So Praha is 48.5 pick rates. It does have a lot more information than SW Arena. That's the good part about it. It's just the layout. I'm not too big a fan of it. So I would say it has a few pros for Praha, but Praha is not as good anymore in current season as it was. So I would say Praha 75 or 80. I would say 75 actually. That's how I feel about Praha at least. Or would I say 80? No, I think this is fine. This is fine. I actually want to switch up my music that I have on the background. And we got another Parimer from Sensitivity 41. Appreciate it, appreciate it. So we have that going. Then we go for a Juno. Juno is 33 pick rate with a 50 plus win rate, which is actually higher than I expected. That is most definitely higher than I expected. I would say, do you know, 85? Or is it a little bit overdone? Having 50% plus win rate with that high pick rate in G3 RTA does say quite some. But I wouldn't put it on same level as these. So, yeah, I think this is fair. This is fair. Wait, she actually has more pick rate than Sierra right now. Yeah, okay, 85. 85. Let's go 85. Now we have Sierra. Sierra actually win rate in G3 is kind of lowish, but I feel like she's pretty spam picked. Yeah, I think Sierra's pretty spam picked and that lowers her win rate, but I feel like for that low ring rate, I have to give her like a -1, I think. She's very solid. She's a good speed lead, but if that's the win rate in G3, I gotta keep that in count. And also because of Oliver being there, which is a stronger speed lead these days, and her having some issues like against Ragdoll, Riley, Nana. In general, she's pretty bad into Nanas because she easily dies. That's one of her bigger issues. So let's see Lima, one of my new units, 50.77 with a 9.5 pick rate. So I'm not sure the moment that I pulled Lima, I've been seeing a lot more Limas, like legit a lot of Limas. And I don't know if people didn't use it before I made it popular or anything like that, but I feel like Lima's very legit. Triple Revenge is, in my opinion, the way to go. I see some people going Vio, I see some people going Despair. But I would say Triple Revenge is the way to go, and it's a very solid unit. But it's one of those units, it needs crazy rune quality to actually make it like shine and that kind of shit. And now if we go all the way to the top, we have Gianna, which is like nearly a fucking 50% pick rate. Like, what the hell is even this, man? Like, half of the matches of G3, there is a Gianna in there. Like, what? And it's still like rocking a 52, like, 52.5 win rate. So that's crazy solid. Like, that's straight 95. I'm not gonna put it at 100. I think my... yeah, I think just 95. There's still the issue that you have Heigangs that outspeed it. You have Tiana options. You can outspeed it with like strip pushbacks. A ref vert is high, or well, I put vert as 1 vert, so I would say triple revenge. The odds of not knowing what kind of vert it is actually makes it higher as well. So that's the thing, which is the thing for vert. Then we have a couple of OGs. OGs. Not used as much anymore. But let's actually scroll through the list. We got an Annabelle, and Annabelle actually in G3 is kind of low. I am somewhat surprised about that, because I would say Annabelle is... It's nothing crazy, but it's also not that bad. But I would say Annabelle 75. I feel like Annabelle 75 is fair. Is it fair? That is fair. Then let's continue to find the other OGs. We got a Charlotte at a 52.5 win rate, which is crazy high. That's legitimately so crazy high. But it's one of those units that's just picked the moment. It's a 4th or 5th pick, and it's picked at the moment it's most likely gonna do its shit. There's no revenge from a vert gonna fuck you up or any of that kind of shit. But still, I would say at least 85. That is very solid, maybe even 90. It's a 5% pick rate, which is, it is high. And 52.5 win rate, that's crazy. But you can only use it in very specific cases. And that limits the unit itself. So therefore, I'm going for this 85. Get it to 90? What do you guys say? 90 or 85? The win rate is pretty high up there, though. It's a niche pick. Yeah, that's the main issue I have with her as well. It's a pretty niche pick. Most people saying 85s. Yeah, I agree with the 85. I agree with the 85. Okay, then we continue on with a Rika. Rika. We're currently selecting by win rates. Rika is not used as much anymore as it was in the past. I probably skipped over her. Where's she at? Oh, Rika. Whoa, wait. Okay, Rika is one of those units, same thing. She's just used the moment she's probably gonna win the match. So it's a very hard counter pick, but it's not necessarily like a main pick or anything. So Rika still solid, like, I would say like 75, 80. 80 nice. I would say 80, yeah. 80 is Gucci. Balinus versus Rika. Balinus, you have to make him do some damage. Rika is just dot damage. So he can go tanky 100 res. So therefore, a Rika pretty much is always better than a Balinus, unless you use both. But that is very situational where you can actually use both. Well, Laura's not really going to be in the list. Laura's really crap. Like, sorry, Laura owners, it's crap. It does too little. It does too little. If I'm not mistaken, if I selected by pick rate, descending, I thought Nikki was somewhere around here. Yeah, Nikki 54. Well, Nikki is also one of those picks. The moment you are going to pick a Nikki, it's most likely a clean sweep for Nikki itself. So, yes, it is a very solid unit, but it is a very niche pick. So I'm not going to put it higher than 80 because you're not going to be able to spam her on anything. Going on to the next units, we got Hell Ladies. Hell Ladies. Nikki's OP. Nikki's OP if she's allowed to do her shit. If she doesn't, it's pretty bad. We have Asima with actually a low win rate, which I am surprised about because in my opinion, Asima is a Rika on steroids, more or less. But either some people are just hella mispicking Asimas, or they're just picking her in like weird situations because I don't know. It looks kind of throw. Like I'm surprised that she has like below 50 win rate because she should be picked when you know you can get her shit like off. So I do know that there's one guy picking like picking. Wait, maybe I see his name. There's one guy that has like a really weird draft with Asima. Maybe he's even in here. I think it's this guy. Well, he has a win rate. It's one of the Korean names. But he has this really weird draft going like Bastat and Bastat, Asima, and then going for like Changpong weird shit. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that draft. He's kind of food, but yeah. I don't know. I still feel like I have to one up this at least. I'm not sure who's fucking it up, but I feel like Asima should be stronger than Rika. I can't sell it to put them on the same tier. Yeah, probably there's someone, it's their only LD5 and they're just spamming the shit out of it and dropping the win rate. I'm pretty sure something like that happens. Okay, Athena. Not a unit that's picked a lot, but it is a good pick if you have your team revolved around her. But the win rate is pretty terrible. Rick only advantage slow debuff. Yeah, it's not too big. Well, and stun on the S2. And cycle on the S1. There's a bunch of benefits to a Rika, but there's less armor break, less damage, less dots, less cycling, so yeah. I still feel like Asima's the one up for that. So Athena is actually pretty low win rate, like 47.5. Yeah, it's actually just good with the Tablo Jamire kind of jazz. And it's semi-good against Leos if it's on the field, but then it's probably not will, so... To be honest, I'm not the biggest of Athna's fans. I think it can work, but you need a very specific draft for it. And even in this very specific draft, well, Tablo's right above it, and you can see like the difference in how they are good for that specific draft, so... Yeah, I don't see Athena going that well. If Athena was more placed as a counter pick, I would value her higher, I guess. So, very curious to see Antares. What's the Antares win rate in G3? Antares win rate in G3 is below 50. Pretty far below 50. But Antares win rate is also determined by people being like, okay, I hella lost this draft. I just slap in an Antares and I'll see what happens. If you do that a lot, Antares win rate is going to drop. I still feel like Antares has a solid 75 chance. And also, guys, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with me. They should change Antares passive to proc every 4th turn of the enemy. Nothing different. Every 4th turn of the enemy, Antares moves. Because I'm sick and tired of Antares moving every single turn. And I'm sick and tired of Antares moving not a single time in 15 turns. So take that somewhere in the middle. Every 4th turn, Antares moves. So he becomes slightly predictable. He's still RNG as fuck because his S1 can be 2 hits or 3 hits. There's still RNG to how much he actually pushes back and therefore gives attack bar on the S2. Blah, blah, blah. There's still RNG enough to Antares, but at least it becomes kind of like stupidly predictable. Or at least keep it to a fucking standard where you cannot have an Antares not move 15 turns. Like, I literally get more tilted for Antares not moving for 15 turns than Antares moving every single turn. So, yeah, that's that will be pretty nice, in my opinion. The Countess is probably never gonna listen to me for that request, so whatever. Then we have Chow. I don't think Chow, if he's in the list, he's probably on a very low pick rate, because Chow is just outshined by a whole bunch of units. There were at some point people using Chow a little bit. He's actually on the even win rate. And he's just on the edge of the list, which is actually interesting. But close to 50 is win rate. Again, it's going to be picked like the 5th pick unit. Moment he's supposed to counter his whole shit, he apparently kind of does. So I'm going to put a Chow at 70. Not a big fan of Chow. There are some other options, maybe better options, but apparently he does his shit. The Shiho. Shiho actually currently is a pretty high pick rate unit. And he has a solid 50% plus win rate. And I feel like if you draft him in correct scenarios, it is a very solid unit. Why is Laura that low? Because, well, Laura is just... There's better strippers than Laura. That's just the thing it is. But I feel like Shiho currently is very good. Because you can, if you go the turn cycling of S3, S1, S2, you're going to have like, let's say 70 to 80% of your invisibility and immunity up. Which is, that's insane. That's crazy. And that's actually pretty solid. And you also can see that the ban rate on this monkey is pretty high, like 24.5. So it's often a last pick. It is a niche pick. But the moment he's there, he does his shit, like more or less. I think Sierra's too high. I think Sierra's too much spammed into shit. But I still feel like Sierra's a good unit. Because of cycling, artifact damage, that kind of stuff. I feel like, yeah. Perna is... There's better options than Perna. That's the main thing. I just threw in a bunch of units that were actually below 1% pick rate, but some people might want to see. Okay, then we have Laika. I think Laika's all the way at the bottom as well. And Laika's just... Laika's hella outshined by a better unit. So Laika is technically still on the list. It can counter some shit here and there, which is counterpart, which you all know Douglas may not be able to, but yeah, Douglas is just the shit. Leo, let's check Leo. Leo we have on a fucking high ban rate. Leo also 51.5% pick rate. I am pretty sure if we tap Leo here, he's going to be godlike with Nana, of course, but also with Ragdoll. I'm pretty sure if you go for Dream Team, yeah, Dream Team is going to be Nana, Leo, and Ragdoll. That team is like nasty AF. That team legit nasty AF. Yeah, also, like, who are the people that have the highest win rates with Leos? Ragdoll user, Ragdoll user, Ragdoll user, Ragdoll user, Ragdoll user. Is Omimo Ragdoll user? Yes, he is. So, yeah, the people with the highest win rates on Leos is pure Ragdoll based. So I wouldn't say Leo necessarily by himself is that great, but Leo does have like quite a strong value against specific things. But let's say you have, you don't have Ragdoll, I would say your Leo is like 80 or 85. If you have a Ragdoll, your Leo becomes like 90. That's definitely a thing. So I would say 85. 85 on the Leo, 90 if you have Ragdoll. Because it's the pairing is just so freaking strong. Then the next unit on the list is... We have a Jaeger. I feel like Laika's better than Perna. I feel like both of them are equally trash. Who was I thinking of? Jaeger. Mr. Jägermeister. 269, not bad. 51.40, not bad either. It is, again, one of those units, I'm pretty sure, if we're gonna check it once more, it's probably shining most with Mr. Ragdoll. Oh yeah, it's the best pairing with a bunch of other units, not Ragdoll. Ragdoll's only down here. I'm kind of surprised about that. Atoli is the best user for that. Also not surprised, Amimo is a pretty good user for that. Altoli doesn't have, he does have, oh, this is Altoli. Pretty sure this is Altoli. He's using this. Together with, probably if Dream Team, yeah, with Gianna, I'm not surprised. These three, this is Altoli team. So, yeah, he just makes it shine like that. Pretty solid units. Not too much usage, and it is kind of like depending on what other units you also have. So, I would say it is a strong unit, but it is not crazy like out there. But I would say 80. I think he does shine with better rune quality though. He does shine with better rune quality. Then we have the only one and only Ragdoll. Ragdoll is 30% pick rate and a 52.5 on the win rate. And I won't say him that he's 100. I will put him 95. What's the website? It is this website. I'll link it in here. But I would say Ragdoll is 95. It is a bit lower pick rate than Gianna, but I feel like Ragdoll is pretty much just as good because of the synergy with Nana, where Gianna has less synergy with Nana, and that's Ragdoll's just very strong. There are very specific teams that counter Ragdoll pretty easily, but slapping a Ragdoll is, yeah, it's just nice. The white background is killing me. Yeah, the white background, it's this thing should be optimized for, because this thing is optimized for mobile, not for PC. I'm using it on PC right now. How come your previous streams are not able to watch? Because I don't save my VODs. That's the main thing. Then we have Monkey Business. Wait, which monkey is missing? I already put the water monkey in. Makes sense. Makes sense. So all the way to the bottom probably for the picks. Do we have Meiho Wang being picked? Meiho Wang is barely used these days. Got my contact yesterday. Wish me luck on recovering. Good luck on that. Good luck on that. I would say that Meiho Wang is actually not that bad, but you have to use him at very specific counters. Or like specific situations, and then he can actually shines. The same for Xingzi. I think Xingzi is not that bad, but again, very specific counters, and then he shines. And you need like good rune quality on these two to actually make them shine. So you have to give them some love to make it work. This one, however, you don't want to... No. We don't talk about that one. Let's talk about one that's actually legit good. We're talking about Qingtian Desheng, aka a light monkey, aka 53.5, well, near to a half win rate on an 11 pick rate, which is one of the highest win rates on one of the higher pick rates out there. Because if we check pick rates, yeah, that's the first unit that's okay, except for Nana. Guess where she's going to be. That has a 10% pick rate, and that has like 53 win rate plus. So that is actually very solid. The unit is spammed, the unit is everything. I want to say that is Qingtian stronger than... Is Qingtian stronger than Gianna Ragdoll? The pick rate is lowered. I was thinking about making an in-betweener tier, but I think because of the pick rate, it's less spammable than these two, because these two are hella like spammable. Qingtian is not that spammable, so I feel like he's fair in that quadrant scenario, place, position, bananas. Then we have the next unit. If we continue the line, well, these are all not used. We continue the line, we go to Yeonhong, and Yeonhong is a unit that I just saw just around here as well. Yeonhong is also one of the highest win rate units with a very high pick rate. I feel like Yeonhong, together with like Nana kind of shit, is very strong right now, and that's not Yeonhong. Get the fuck out of here. Yeonhong. I feel like Yeonhong is back on track where Yeonhong is one of the stronger units. At least 90, I'm thinking 95. Because of her base, she's so easy to make shit outspeed. Issue is her S2 is kind of inconsistent, doesn't always strip. If they would always strip or always boost, the boost is more important. That would be very nice. But Yeonhong does so freaking much damage. It's difficult to rune though. What has changed for her? The meta. The meta changed more for her than anything. But I'm not sure if I want to go 95 or say 90. She's less spammable. Or she's less spammed. Doesn't mean that she's less spammable. I'm gonna put it at 95. I'm gonna put it at 95 because I feel like it's one of the stronger units out there right now. It does require really good rune quality, but we're talking G3 RTA, so I think it's fair to say that G3 RTA. Then we have Wolyong. Wolyong is not really in there except for Matsu. Matsu's actually using Yeonhong together with Wolyong, and then it's suddenly insanely strong because attack buff, 28 lead on a S2 of this thing, that's just very fucking deadly. But besides actual cleavers, this unit is only good because of that unit is next to it. And because Matsu is using it, so... For Matsu, this would be like higher because of like the combination, but the unit by itself, just a cleaver unit. It's nothing that crazy. Fran. Fran is actually still being used here and there. Let me check if Fran is actually on the list. She's just highly outshined by Riley. That's Fran is, yeah, no, that's, yeah. That's not, as we say in Dutch, not something to write home about. Okay, we continue on the list. We go for a Wusa. Wusa was pretty nerfed. Nem is just tech right now. Yeah, and the tech things that you used to use it against are not really meta, so it's a little bit of that. We got Wusa not being the highest pick rate. And this is actually the interesting thing about G3 data, because if we look at the G3 data, it's 47 high. If we look at the normal data, it is a lot higher, and the pick rate is also higher. So this is where you can see that in G3 RTA, the pick rate of Wusa is a lot less. Also, the pick rates of LDs like Gianna is a lot higher. But that's where you can see that Wusa is strong, but G3 people are more used to it. Maybe because of Gianna, I don't know. But it is strong, but not as strong. Still, however, I would say with a unit pick rate this much, win rate is somewhat low though. But I can't really sell it if the pick rate is that high to put it at 80. Pick rate is too high to put it at 80. Yeah, no, I can't sell that. Can't sell that. I would say 85. I think maybe in G3, Wusa's overspammed and therefore like lowers the win rate. I kind of feel like that's what's going on. Then we have the Chiwooster. Chiwoosters, your win rate is shit, bro. 46.7. Yeah, you get hella countered by so many things, man. Chiwoo's a fun unit. It's not bad. It's a good speed lead. It has potential. But it's just hella countered by so many things. So that's... I actually removed like my fast... I had my fastest set on Chiwoo for a while. I removed it because... too much shit counters him. If Chiwoo is a last pick, however, I feel like he's pretty strong. But the main issue is, like, you can't early pick Chiwoo anymore. It's just, oh, you pick Chiwoo. I go countervert. I go, I don't know, like, there's, I go more. I go, like, anything. Like, you're just fucked. You're just hella fucked. We got Nigong. Nigong is barely used. It has a decent win rate, but because of the S2 nerf, I feel like Nigong is not that great anymore. Before, Nigong actually had some value, but now the S2 is nerfed too hard to actually do damage. Then we have the Wunsa. Wunsa has a pretty high win rate. Pick rate is a bit lower, but win rate is just high. He's just a lot more consistent. The issue with Chiwoo, for example, Chiwoo loses against the Tablo because Chiwoo is not gonna push back one person, and you have 8 resistance checks, 4 for strips, 8 or another 4 for pushback. So you have 8 resistance checks in total. Everything has to land, otherwise you just lose. Like literally, I outspeed Tablos and I lose to it because they're not pushed back or some dumb shit. So yeah, therefore a Wunsa is just a lot and a lot stronger, which also shows in the win rate. Which I would say Wunsa currently is in the 90. Because Wunsa is also better right now because you have more speed leads that are viable. Do you play RTA? No, I just make this list without playing every RTA in my life. What do you mean? What's that question? Of course I play RTA. If you're asking, do I play RTA right now? Answer is no. I'm making a tier list. Then we continue on. Theomars. I'm actually kind of surprised, more or less, that we haven't seen Theomars. I'm kind of surprised. I feel like Theomars is actually not that bad. He does need like his setup and everything, but Theomars together with like Riley against units that don't have immunity at that moment, Theomars is gonna break your shit. Like pretty deadly. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a unit in like lower ranks. It's also gonna be like, let's say I actually want to search up the unit, it's going to be a pain in the ass to search it. Or is it though? Theomars. Yes, it is a pain in the ass to search it. Okay, that's literally barely picked. Let's check it if we go for all data. Win rate is actually decent. It's never picked, but it's actually decent. Okay, let's go back to this. And we're looking at Theomars. Same thing for Theomars. Theomars S2 does a lot of damage, but often Theomars is drafted against like Ragdolls, Rileys, all kinds of like shit that is very hard to counter. So, and he's not the best at that, but I feel like Theomars is still a pretty solid unit. He does a good amount of damage. I feel like the only thing they have to change to Theomars is that he always lands Oblivion. That there's no resistance checks for the Oblivion. Like, resistance check for armor break and the dot and everything, Gucci, fine. But Thessarion, did I say? Yeah, I'm not gonna put Theomars because Theomars, no one uses Theomars. But Thessarion, the Oblivion should be 100%. That's what I think. Alsharian, some random people use it. Did I say Theomars the whole time? I meant Thessarion. So yeah, Thessarion is 75. We have Veramos. I'm pretty sure I'm the only idiot in the game using Veramos. I actually want to check how good Veramos is. Veramos. Okay. Am I actually one of the higher? No, I'm not in the high. No one uses this shit. Yeah, I use it against Sekhmets as well. That's the funny thing I use it against. What makes it food? Huh, interesting. So, yeah, I feel like Veramos is nice, but there is one thing that has to be changed about Veramos. The moment he's stunned, he doesn't get a tech bar from his passive, which is freaking stupid. But Veramos is just used against a lot of dots. That's why you use Veramos. But if he would use his passive fully, even if he's stunned, I would put Veramos up here or here, like 75 or 70 at least. But since he doesn't do that, he's like 60. He's actually trash. Which is kind of sad. I think Veramos is a pretty fun unit. Now we got the Polar Queens. Tiana. Let's see what Tiana does. Win rate of Tiana is terrible on G3. We got 7% pick rate and a 47% win rate, which I'm surprised about. I feel like Tiana's not bad, but I feel like maybe people outspeed it or no. Imagine Tiana on higher base speed. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know why Tiana's this low. I feel like Tiana's pretty legit, but you gotta place the legit spots. Because Tiana actually counters Douglas. Like, I'm not sure if it shows here, but Tiana S2 counters Douglas. It has positive win rate against Douglas, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so literally this is a counter to Douglas Hey Gang. Like legit, this website is very nice for these kind of counter things. So that's pretty nice. What's a ban rate? 23%. It's pretty high ban rate, I would say. So I would say 75. Win rate is not really showing. Maybe people are overdrafting it. I think Tiana's very specific draft. You shouldn't overdraft. Yeah, she's picked right, she's banned. Would that value her as 1-up? Nah, the win rate of these units above there are higher. And she's... Yeah, you can't use her too often. So it's pretty often that, yeah, okay, she's hard counted by other things that just outspeed her. Like literally everything that's in here except for you. And this is just outspeed. So yeah, she's just fucked up by faster things. So good 5th pick, might work, but she's not used as much. I can't really put her higher. We have the Polar Queen Light. Light Polar Queen. I do actually want to see if she's in here. I feel like there's more and more people actually using her from time to time. Yep, 50 win rate, 1.3 on the pick. Light Polar Queen. Nothing too crazy, but I feel like if you pick her right, she's pretty nice. But I wouldn't say she's too crazy. Also, like the common mistake, don't start pairing this shit up with Ganymede and that kind of stuff. Because then you have 2 units doing the same thing. That doesn't work. Furthermore, Brandy's not really used. Frigate not really used. Tetra is used. Probably. Not much, but... Tetra win rate is kind of low. But yeah, where do you use Tetra against? Like... Weakness. Does it actually see weakness for Nephthys? Nephthys Juno. That's actually... Yeah. Yeah, it is used against a bunch of LDs. So it makes sense that it's not having a high win rate. Because she's actually trying to counter like very difficult stuff. So... I would say 70 is fine. Let's go for Mr. Poseidon. Mr. Poseidon is on a pretty low win rate. That's actually special. I feel like Poseidon should be picked in scenarios where you know Poseidon can do his shit without like getting fucked up. Apparently people are not doing that. Or he's just not good at doing it. I would say... Yeah, if you pick him right, I would say 70 at least. Okeanos. Okeanos is still pretty used. Win rate is not as high anymore. I feel like Okeanos is like 75. There's just... It's not bad, but there's just better options. Where should Poseidon be used? Poseidon should be used as final pick if there's like a Maldi and you want an AoE pushback. So you already have 2 AoE strippers, you already know you're going to outspeed, and then you can slap in a Poseidon. If you do it at any other time, you're probably going to lose. I don't get why Tetra's good against Gianna. She isn't really. She's good against Nephthys. She's not that good against Gianna. Well, she's technically good against Gianna because the bomb never goes off. Also, all of this will be on the VOD on the YouTube channel. Next unit is going to be Mali. Mali mostly has pretty well used in... Okay, so 20% pick rate with a 50% win rate. Again, this is probably a unit that shines with like Ragdoll. Yeah, a bunch of LDs. Like everything is like LD, LD, LD. If we select non-LDs, it's like none and that kind of jazz. So yeah, okay. She is shining because of better LD stuff. She's also shining against Junos. Segments makes sense. Monkeys, yep. Bunch of oracles, that kind of stuff. I feel like Molly is pretty solid. Yeah, if the win rate shows up there and is barely picked, it still showed as high win rate. But I would say Molly is at least 80. Would I say 85? If you have like the good LDs, I'm definitely sure that Molly is 85. But without that, I would say 80. So therefore, I'm gonna put it at 80, I think. I think that is fair to say. Plus Molly Douglas is also fun, but then mostly one or the other is banned, so yeah. Okay, continuing on. This one is not really used. Tritone. The Tritone. Triton is 46. Can you explain why she's good? She makes stuff glance, so things that are supposed to crit don't really crit, plus she has crazy healing. So yeah, the win rate of this is actually terrible. So Triton just doesn't do too much. It's nice to outspeed shit, but it doesn't do too much. And it's also highly counted by Douglas right now, whereas Wunsa is not counted by Douglas because the S2 can't glance and the S3 mostly does. Can the S3 glance? I think not as well. What's your opinion about Lucifer in RTA terrible? Because it needs too much setup. It's one of the strongest units in arena offense, but RTA it's pretty bad. It just gets banned or like his setup gets banned. That's the life of a Lucifer. It's not just the glancing, it's also the healing. It is pretty RNG, yeah. It is pretty RNG. But the healing is not RNG. The healing is just there, and that's solid. She's a good single target healer, but a terrible AoE healer. Well, which unit was I looking for? Pontus. Where Pontus? Pontus is here. 53.1 on a 5 picker. That's pretty solid, but not as much used anymore as was before. But I feel like if you have this high of a win rate, I feel like you're valid to be up there, like 90 for Pontus. And it's a speed lead, so yeah, that's still pretty solid as well. Yeah, it is possible for Antares to not move for like 18 or 19 turns. That's the most I've seen, which is dumb. I agree. These units are all... Ileana's used here and there, but that's just too specific. You use Ileana with like a Narsha or something, otherwise you don't use it, so... Not really gonna to count that in. Bastet. I have seen some people using Bastet more effectively with other drafts, so 48.5 on the win rate and 4 pick rate, which is actually not that bad. So I feel like she would be 70. I'm still not a big fan. It's still kind of a cleaver weird-ass unit, but it's better than it was before, in my opinion. Now we have Sekhmet. Sekhmet is mostly drafted in the drafts where like, okay, shit, I'm losing. Let's give it like a weak attempt at going for an S3 and actually hope for outspeeding and that kind of shit. Yeah, it's not crazy high on the win rate. It is pretty high on the pick rate. I feel like giving her like just purely on the win rate rank would be like misvaluing her. Because I would say if she lands her shit like at least 80, but yeah, she's mostly a desperate pick, I would say, more or less. So I am going to one down Okeanos because I feel like Sekhmet is better than Okeanos at the moment. But the issue is after her initial like S3, she doesn't do too much, and the S2 is very inconsistent. So yeah, Pontus is bad at the moment, I think. Definitely not 90. Pontus has like 53 win rates. It is a 5 pick rate, which is kind of low. But 53 win rate is pretty high up there. Where was it? What was it? Pontus. Counters. Wait, it counters like strippers? That's interesting. Weakness, this kind of stuff. Yeah, he's worse because of Nana meta, I would say. Godly with mostly all these. Well, mostly is everything godly with all these. How to play is boosting the win rate. Seems like it. Pick rate is somewhat low. Ban rate is pretty high. Would I lower it from 90? Nah, I feel like 90 is fair. Okay, we continue. Hathor. Hathor is somewhat making her comeback from time to time. Near 50 win rate on a 10% pick rate, which is not bad at all. That is actually not bad at all. I feel like Hathor deserves like a spot at 85 again. I feel like Hathor is... Nah, 80. 80. There's a bunch of other things that kind of counter her. She's kind of slow in the base, that kind of stuff, but... Hathor is a pretty good counter to Nana, which makes her viable and interesting. But then still she has pretty issues of doing that because that unit is just that strong. Oh, Wedjat. Is Wedjat even on the pick list? Probably not. There's just this one guy using Wedjat and he's getting farmed his ass by me. No, Wedjat is not even here on the list. Let's see Wedjat. I want to actually see if Wedjat has a positive win rate because I feel like that unit is so terrible. I feel like Wedjat should get all of the skills from Tablo. Wait, that's actually positive win rate. But that's probably just one guy using it. What was his name? Is this guy? No, it's a different guy. Or was it this guy? I'm not sure, but I feel like it's a terrible unit. Pretty terrible unit. It just doesn't do enough. Where that's here. 60-ish. Best I can do. Nefties, however. Nefties. Probably like 53 win rate or something. 51 win rate on Nefties. Surprise. That's actually lower than I thought. It's actually a lot lower than I thought. Huh. Well, Nefties is for sure 90 for me. 100%. Pick rate is kind of low. I feel like Nefties will be better. Maybe Nefties is somewhat countered because of Douglas, but I also feel like she counters Douglas because she always lands as one. I would say 90. 90 is fair. We continue. Pisamas. Nowhere much used as before. Because, well, Oliver is there, and Oliver is just a baller. Win rate, 47. It got dropped a lot because of Oliver. That's the main thing. Still not a bad unit, but dropped because of Oliver. Doman, please. Doman is below the list. That's literally the worst unit in the game I can think of. At least for LD5s. Sorry if you have him. We continue with a Daphnis. Not used as much. Who is he? She? It's the Omniyoji. Dark Omniyoji. Can I play RTA later with the aid of this website and comment it? Like, what does it recommend to pick? It kind of does. I was saying after a little buff. Still shit. I tried to make her work, but she still shits. Daphnis is actually on a 50 win rate. I am surprised. Most of the time, Daphnis win rates aren't that crazy, but if he's 50 win rate with a 5% pick rate, I would say that's pretty solid. I would say that is actually pretty solid. So I'm going to give it a 75. I'm not going to give it higher. It's still coin flip unit to me. I don't like coin flip units. Ganymedes. Where yo ass at? Ganymede, 16% pick rate, 50 win rate. That is not bad for Ganymede at all. That is actually not bad for Ganymede at all. So at least 80. I am actually... no. Is it 80? 80? Yeah, I feel like he's not on par with like other units that are in 85. No, 80. 80 is fine. 80 is Gucci. 80 is Gucci. Do we have any others? We got Oberon and we got Nyx. I know that Oberon is used by a few people to good success. Oh, first we see Nyx. 1.7 in pick rate and a 49 low in the win rates. I feel like Nyx is not bad, but it's really a counter pick. It's a very niche counter pick. Is SW ranking better than SW Arena? SW ranking has more in-depth information and G3, like pure G3 information about the arena or like the matches. And it has like some things about like showing the AI, like drafts, what you should drafts, and that kind of machine learning stuff. But I'm gonna show that the website is not fully live yet. I am going to showcase that at the moment it's fully live. Because I actually have contact with the people that make this stuff. Or like one of the people. One of the people that make that stuff. So, Yeah, I'm gonna showcase that more like later, but you can already check it out if you want to. And we got Oberon is a 50. What? Someone is hella boosting this shit. Who is hella boosting this shit? Altoli is. A bunch of guys are actually. That's a crazy high win rate. Holy shit. Can you link the site? Yes, I can. You can go from here and then just use back and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you don't see it much. It's like 2% pick rate. Ban rate is pretty high, but I think because of Nana, I feel like he's been having some more shining for his worth. But man, I can't deny the win rate. I can't deny the win rate. It's crazy high. So I feel like it's one of those very solid last picks. So yeah, I feel like I wouldn't put it higher than 80 though, because it's that little picked. Then we go on with Mr. Wolyong. He strips, he stuns, and he kills your team. At least that's what he used to do. Currently, he just kills your team. 30 pick rates, 48 on the win rates. Wolyong still very solid unit, very high pick rate. It's kind of on par with like Vert and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's kind of similar. I would say 85. Wouldn't put it higher, but 85 definitely a thing. We continue on with the Feng Yang. I think Feng Yang is used. Feng Yang should be used to a certain degree. But what is that degree of usage? Not much. Same as his win rate. Also not much. So 1% pick rates, 47 win rate. Pretty low. Pretty low. I would say Feng Yang, 65. Yeah, it's just that. It's just that. He can be used against some Leo comps if you build him that way or something like that. It's now we have Mr. Tian Lang. Tian Lang, probably one of the highest win rates with one of the higher pick rates. But Tian Lang is actually counter. Oh, Tian Lang is low. Wow, that's the lowest I've seen Tian Lang at for quite a while. Wait, he got nerfed from season 19 to 20, right? Did he? I feel like he did. His buff or something like the percentage that he's boosted got nerfed or something. Which apparently did hit Tian Lang quite some. But I still feel like one of these stronger counter picks in the game. Maybe he's overdrafted. That kind of like ruins his win rate. I don't know. Let's say 94 Tian Lang. Yeah, I think it's they dropped it in the last one. Interesting. It does actually show because Nana is also nerfed and that doesn't show. Amelia is not really. It's not on the list. It's not by definition a bad unit, but it's just not used enough to be on this list. Then we go for Diana. Diana is a 27.5 on the pick rate with a 50 win rate. I feel like she's kind of spammed sometimes because I feel like she has more value if she is picked correctly. But I feel like Diana is still a very solid. I even feel like Diana is maybe stronger than the units here in the list, but no, I'm gonna put it there. Put it there. Is Diana stronger than that? Have you done CP yet? No, I'm going from order in which the units were released. So the later released units are at the bottom here, so they're going to be there at a later moment. So yeah, these are all not used. Triana's not really used anymore. Same for like Helena, that kind of jazz. Same for Light Pony is used sometimes here and there. Not enough. Yep. Triple S on CP? No, not at all. Triple S on CP is only if you don't have counters to it. But CP is very counterable. He's just very strong if he S2s into S3. Tablo. Tablo is pretty high pick rates, I think. No, not this high. Okay, that's actually lower than I thought. Tablo on a 50.5 pick rate while being a 50.72 win rates. Interesting. I feel like Tablo is pretty solid. At the start of the season, I felt like he was really busted. Currently, I feel like he's okay busted. So let's call him an 80. He's one of those units that you can have him swift. Has better win rate than what I thought. I thought he would be higher for the pick rate mainly. Win rate is good. Win rate is legit. But I thought he would have higher pick rates. We got Valley with a 94 rate. Appreciated, appreciated. Didn't know Valley was streaming. How was your stream? Let's continue on. We go to Vivachel. I think Vivachel's not even on the list. Vivachel on the list. Vivachel is on the list. Vivachel's 48.20 on the win rate. Which is odd, this is for G3 only, so you can actually select it on everything that comes up in best, which is pretty much like top 3000, which is kind of like G3 plus, or G1 plus, but this is G3 only, so only the matches where G3 plays against G3. But Vivachel is barely used. Kinky. We're just going like lists top to bottom, and we go over every unit that happens, and we shall see where it goes from. And to, and stuff, and bananas, and potatoes. Josephine, where are you at? I think a pick rate would be somewhere around these units here. It's not higher than that. Okay, pick rate is pretty 5.5. That's okay. She's mainly drafted in drafts which are like, okay, Josephine is going to lose here because that's just a very difficult draft. Also, I tried to make Josephine where she just does. No. She not that bueno. She's 65. She's 65. She can be used here and there, but it's not that great. The others are not really used except for Leona. And Leona, if I'm not mistaken, actually has a pretty high win rate because Leona is actually pretty strong unit. 3% on the pick rates and a close to 55% on the win rate. That is actually a very solid, very deadly, cool stuff. I don't get Leona passive. Just put a lot of defense and don't put any attack on her. And then she does damage. I feel like she's pretty strong. She's not as spammable, so I would say 85. 85 it is. Then we are continuing with, we don't use those units, a Abellio. I feel like Abellio's picked a lot. Maybe overpicked. Abellio is a 14.5 on the pick rate, but the win rate is 52.25. Okay, apparently Abellio is a lot stronger than I thought. He does really shine with like the ragdoll, blah, 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 that kind of nonsense. But I can't deny it that this pick rate, this win rate is that high that I just have to put it. I have to put Abellio on the 90. We continue on with Belenus. I think Belenus is not even on the list, which means I'm not really gonna put Belenus in there. Isn't it? Ain't it? It ain't. Okay, well, Belenus, it's yeah, how do you say it? It's like a recap, but worse. There's better options. So I would say somewhere around here. Then we go Valantis. Valantis kind of got outshined by, or it kind of hard counted by Hey Gang and that kind of jazz. So Valantis used to be like on a pretty high win rate. Currently it's just below 50 win rate on a 3.69 pick rate. Valantis is not bad, but he's just more difficult to use right now because his base speed is not that high. You kind of want to put him on Despair. You're balancing everything on your speed tuning after a Despair unit that's pretty low on the speed. Yada yada shebang issues. 75 for a Valantis, maybe an 80. No, 75 because he's actually different. Will this be on the YouTube video? It will be on the YouTube video, definitely, most definitely. Probably will be there tomorrow or the day after or something like that. So if you missed anything, it's gonna be there, and hopefully there's gonna be timestamps. And otherwise, there's no timestamps. Patar. Look at that win rate of Mr. Patar, 42. Yay, Mr. Patar. Well, Mr. Patar goes somewhere along the line of this. That's pretty terrible. People are misdrafting him, I don't know. Well, I think Oliver, like, Patar is really fucked up by pushbacks and by increased cooltime. We just happen to get a unit that does both on a 33 lead, so he just fucks him up. He's like, yo, you're not getting turns. Like, fuck you up your shit. Bolverk. Bolverk is actually a pretty good unit into the current meta. And I think he's been picked a lot, maybe a little bit too much. Bolverk is 6% win rate on a 47 win rate. So 6.31 pick rate. Okay. Win rate is somewhat low. I actually expected a higher win rate for Bolverk. But I guess Bolverk is trying to counter like Ragdolls, Rileys, all of the kind of like super annoying stuff, which is difficult to do. But I would say Bolverk is a clean 80 for me. I feel like Bolverk is very, very solid. He's just, yeah, he's trying to counter like very difficult stuff, and that's just lowering his win rate. Does he counter Ragdoll? No, he's trying to counter Rileys, but next to the Riley is fucking Ragdoll. Yeah, that's the main issue. Like 9 out of 10, if you see someone pick a Riley, there's going to be a Ragdoll after it. At least in G3. We continue on. These units are not used. These units are not used. Bella is used. Bella is used. But where the freak is Bella at? Bella is at a win rate that's actually pretty high. And it's more than just Obabo using it right now. Because I know that the B-Will is using it. Sapien is using it. There's a bunch of strong players using it. Together with Nash. Ooh, that's nasty. That's a I can see that work. That nasty combination. That nasty combinations. Yeah, I can see that work. She's also very good because of the Nana thing. So yeah, I feel like she definitely deserves a spot pretty high up. I would say at least 85, but I'm actually aiming towards 90. She does require like good rune quality, which the people in G3 RTA should have. Like if you have any lower RTA, like I would say like 80, 85. But G3 RTA, I would put Bella on 90. She's actually pretty freaking strong. But you need like good runes, good artifacts, good everything. So yep, I think that's a pretty solid unit. We continue on with these are not used, these are not used. Mephisto is actually used. Mephisto, of course, trying to counter one of the most annoying units in the game, and being Nana. And actually doing that to a decent success with the 48 win rate. So, for that reason, I would say Mephisto is actually 80. Because having a decent win rate against pretty much the strongest unit in the game right now is a difficult task. That's legit not easy. So, for that reason, I do want to give Mephisto quite some value, actually. Well, you don't spam that much, let's say 75. We continue on, and we go Lucifer's not used, and Beelzebub is used. Beelzebub is on a very high win rate. Beelzebub is on a 2.50 pick rate, but nearly close to 55 win rate, which is insanely high. Of course, Nana plus Beelzebub is a very nasty OP combination, and I would definitely give him a 90. Mainly because of Nana, he became that much stronger. And since it became more of a bruiser meta and less of an AoE pushback CC meta, he does shine more as well. So I think those two scenarios actually help it a lot that he became a lot better than used to be in current metas where everyone thought he was OP, but he wasn't not that OP. But currently, he's pretty OP. We continue on. We don't really... Eshir. Eshir is probably used. Not much. But I would be surprised if Eshir doesn't show up here. Eshir does show up, and it's a 47 point something on the win rate and a 4.5 on the pick rate, which is not bad. Not bad at all. Is it crazy good? No, I wouldn't say so. I would say 75. Some people main it as a unit, definitely doable, especially if you're more to like free-to-play side, you don't have that many units. Eshir can have your fastest rune set, but is he necessarily very good? No, 75. 75 for Eshir. Then we go into a... What's the ban rate on Eshir? Is pretty high. Is it though? Is it though? Wait, where Eshir at? Eshir 15. It's decent, but if you check, for example, Mephisto, that's a good ban rate. Mephisto is actually pretty high ban rate. Should I one-up it for the ban rate? I'm gonna one-up Mephisto for the ban rate. The ban rate of Mephisto made it one-up because 41, that's OP. We are at Eshir. Eshir, and now we're going into the Beast Riders. Beast Riders, I just see Barbara right over here. Barbara. And we have a 49 win rate, which is actually more than I expected. I don't really see people use her that much anymore. I would say Barbara is actually just a 70. The win rate is pretty decent. Ban rate is pretty decent. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 1-up. I'm actually surprised to put Barbara on 75. No, I'm gonna 1-down her. I fear no Barbara. Win rates are actually higher than I expected. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Pick rate, ban rate is higher than I expected. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna listen to it for this case. And we have Marcia. How high is Marcia? Probably further down then. If she's even on the list. She is on the list. Pretty low win rate. Yeah, there's not too much to Marcia. Marcia's actually only good with Ragdoll. More or less, so... I tried to make Marcia work together with Hey Gang. Was kind of funny, but nah. I would say she's better than... I would say she's on this kind of level. Yeah, she's better than this kind of crap. Continuing on with a Savannah, which is always been a high picked unit. The pick rate is getting less, but she's also mostly used in the situation that your Savannah has a clean sweep of doing her shit. So the moment that she has a clean sweep of doing her shit, I feel like she pretty much does her thing like really good, like 52. She's not picked as much, she's not as spammable, but if she's picked, she's mostly on the winning side. So I would say 85. Not higher than 85. What would make Dark Monkey a good unit? Even if you give it speed lead, it's still pretty shit. I don't know. The kit is just too inconsistent. Like the whole kit doesn't really work with each other. You need to start with at least having 100% stun rate on the S3. Like that's minimum. Yeah, 100% activation. That's where you can start off with and then just see how the meta revolves, or if he actually becomes meta. If not, you can boost it a little bit more. We have Narsha, which is one of the stronger single target killers. Yeah. Out there, 6.7% pick rate on a 54 win rate. Narsha is very strong. Nana Narsha is a very strong and deadly combination. I feel this or maybe 1-up. The pick rates of these units are more than her, so I feel like an in-betweener tier. I actually feel like an in-betweener tier because she has more pick rate and higher value with like current meta than the other stuff. So I am going to say in-betweener tier. And for the in-betweener tier, we're gonna write 92.5. We change the color. Because yeah, she's definitely better than like the things in here. Most of the things. And I feel like Tian Lang would join her. Nefties, would Nefties join her? Not sure. Nefties is good, but because of Oliver, there's actually so much more contestants in the speed lead stuff. That Nefties is good, but not as good anymore. If nothing is 100, there is going to be something 100. Beelzebub is Vio for sure. For sure. Okay, we continue on with the lists. We were at this thing. Oh, not even gonna put it in there. It's not even worth a spot. Okay, Mr. Hey Gang. Mr. Hey Gang is actually on a very low win rate. Which is interesting. That is actually interesting. Imagine putting Oliver over Gianna. Oliver's not gonna be over Gianna. We have the win rate is very low. I think Hey Gang is also overdrafted. If you draft him more specifically, I think he's stronger. So for that reason, I still feel like Hey Gang is an 85. But yeah, the win rate would indicate that he's lower than that, but I feel like Hey Gang still has a lot of value. Probably the ban rates of Hey Gang is also pretty decent. We got Oni Plays with the Primer. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Isn't Sierra like 85? Sierra is actually kind of lower in the current meta also because of Oliver. The win rate is pretty low. Yeah, that's the main thing. We have Joe Gunn. Joe Gunn actually is making a comeback. I've seen more and more people using Joe Gunn, and Joe Gunn is around 50 on the win rate, 6% pick rate. I feel like Joe Gunn is definitely not a bad unit. I would say Joe Gunn 80. And there's probably a lot of people that are gonna be that used to main Joe Gunn gonna disagree with me. I feel like Joe Gunn is definitely an 80. Especially like Joe Gunn and Oliver together. It's nice. It is definitely nice. But I would say the things in 85 are still better. Then how is not a single dragon on the list? I miss Jamire. Apparently I miss Jamire. We got Hirotion with a tier 1. Appreciate it, appreciate it. 4 months already. Going fast, going fast. Okay, I missed the Jamire. Let's actually look up Jamire. Jamire is probably higher on the pick rates. Where's Jamire? Where's Jamire? Jamire is pretty low on the win rate, actually. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I would say 75 because he's just a Tablo fanboy. Like literally, Jamire is a Tablo fanboy. That's all there is to it. Together with the Tablo fanboy, he's Gucci. Without, he's not so Gucci. Yeah, it's been... Has it been 4 months since we had the LA meetup? Pretty much close to, I guess. Pretty much close to. Okay, continuing on with Mr. CP, that some people claim are triple S, which I totally do not agree with. We got a CP win rate of 48.30 and a pick rate of 29, which is pretty high. It is pretty high. It was in December. Well, we're already in the 3rd month. Was it early December? I think it was early December. But CP still very solid. Still very solid. I would say CP is still 85 because of the potential S2 and S3. Doesn't happen most of the time, but the potential S2, S3 fucks yo up. We got Apsa with the tier 1 as well. Lots of tier 1s today. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Need to kick off this hype train. Appreciate it, boys, appreciate it. For some reason, the counter that's over there, that thing is like an idiot. That thing doesn't really count most of the time. Like, we had a whole bunch of primers, and it's just like the thing is like 1 out of 3. I'm a data. Okay, whatever. Continuing on, CP 85. Yes, sir. We got apps. What? Apps are going for 5 gifters. The man has deep pockets. The man has deep pockets. Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Wait, is this thing? This thing is going 5 times. We're gonna appreciate the time of this thing going 5 times. Please, people, I actually want to finish this tier list within half an hour, so... Yeah, okay, gift that. I don't mind. We're nearly done. We only have like 3 rows left of like new units, so... We're gonna... Am I recording the sound? Oh, I'm not recording the sound, huh? The sound is off. I actually hear the sound, but... If I put this on, you guys hear that as well. But I'm not recording the sound for the YouTube video. That's the main thing. So, okay, I'm rambling on. So, yeah, see? I'm such wasting time. Okay. We continue on. We had CP. We're going into the Moore situation. Where is Moore at? Moore is at a 20 pick rate on a 49 win rate. I feel like Moore is a very, very strong unit. Give me more. Put more in Summoning Stone rotation. I have fucking near to 33k Summoning Stones waiting for Mr. Moore. I get like 500 each fucking week extra. Moore is never going to be in the thing. But Moore is a straight 85. Moore is a clean 85. Clean 85. Then we probably go into Mr. Douglas. What's the pick rate of Mr. Douglas? I think it's pretty high. Win rate is actually kind of low. I'm curious, if I remove the G3, what would be Mr. Douglas? We got another gifter from Brando to Big Papa. Appreciate it, appreciate it. We go. Where that? Mr. Douglas. Oh, win rate of Douglas is a little bit higher. But I thought it would be higher in the lower tiers, actually. So, I think he's strong, but I think he's also overdrafted. We got Thorax, also with the primer. Appreciate it. Well, I'm actually not playing any music on the background right now, so I might as well put this on so you can also hear Toad shouting. But yeah, he's very good, but I feel like Douglas is overdrafted. That's the main reason of his lack in win rate. I feel like people just overspam him. I feel like he's definitely an 85. I feel like it's a very good unit. He's very high on the ban rate. He's not the most OP shit. He's definitely something you can work around. But I feel like he's just overdrafted and therefore the win rate drops. But yeah, he's strong, but he's not the most OP unit. No, I totally agree with you guys. He's not. He's solid, but not too OP. Then we have a bunch we don't use. Ken, there's like one person using Ken, so that doesn't really count. Then we have Carnal. Carnal being one of the units that was the highest of a tier list before. Pick rate is 37 with a 49 win rates. Still very solid, and that's a straight 85. I am thinking about 90 because of the pick rate being that high. Pick rate being that high, still having that guy of a win rate. But I feel like if I one-up Carnal, I feel like I also have to... I think I'm going for another in-betweener tier. We got Brando with a gifted to Dragon SW. Appreciate it. I feel like we are going for an in-betweener tier for a bunch of units. Let's go for an in-betweener tier. We go row above. We put this to this color. And we go for a 75.5. I feel like Carnal fits there. Juno fits there. Wusa fits there. I feel like Lima fits there, but that may be my bias. I'm not sure. Han fits there. Diana definitely fits there. Molong has kind of a low win rate, but yeah, no, Molong fits there as well. Leo fits there. And I feel like Vert fits there. I'm pretty much halfway moving up half of the list. I'm moving up half of the fucking list. I feel personal bias. I feel she's up there. And then Charlotte, maybe because of like sick win rate too. But that's it. No, Charlotte is not that spammable. She has very good win rate, same as Savannah. They have very good win rate, but they're only drafted at the moment they are supposed to win. So, yeah, that's not that difficult then, I guess. So, okay, that was a big switch. That was the big switch. Okay, so we had Carnal done. I actually saw Cigar in here. I saw Cigar being in here. Cigar has... Okay, 5% pick rate. I have never seen Cigar played against me. Ever. Like, I don't know. 50 win rate? Cigar that good? He did get a recent buff or something. I honestly don't know where to place this unit. I never have seen it played against me. Yeah, I feel like for the win rate and the pick rate, I feel like that's a 75 fair, but... I don't know. Cigar Nix? Yeah, let's actually check like what he's been used with. Wouldn't be surprised if the top performers... Top performers, what? Okay, that's probably not that many matches. Gianna, can kind of understand that. Nix is up there. Ragdoll's up there. Jin Yao's using it. Okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. Eron is also using it. Interesting, interesting. Okay, 75 for Mr. Cigar. Then we continue on, and we have, well, the other half of the units that we already placed. The other half of those units we already placed. Lulu, I'm actually hella surprised. Or not surprised, curious. If Lulu is still on the list. Lulu's actually still being used. Look at the terrible win rate on Lulu. Like, what the fuck? 46 win rate on Lulu. That's trash. Lulu, you're trash. 60% trash. It's actually, maybe in some situations you might be good, but it's something. Then we have, is Shizuka even on the list? Is Shizuka even on the list? Shizuka is not on the list. There's just Villy using Shizuka. And maybe one other potato, I guess. Shizuka actually has potential for being a very good counter pick, but it is non-existent. Well, let's put it in there. Just tilt Villy? Just tilt Villy? No. She's a good counter pick. Here and there. Here and there. Same for Seimei. Good counter pick. Here. I actually tried to make Seimei work for against dots, but because technically every dot Seimei or anyone in the team with Seimei gets, Seimei would heal for double the dot. But she's just terrible. Oh, her win rate is actually 55. Well, I'm probably not the best performer with her. No, I'm not even here on the list. No, she's good against. She doesn't even counter these units. Like, she counters something. She's at least better than this shit. Not really, but kind of. Okay, then we go into Onimusha territory. Where's my back button? Where back button? That's not back button. Back button. Oh, we have to do a reset. Okay. Fair. Is Mr. Kaki on the list? Mr. Kaki on the lists. I reset the site to only show G3 data. You click here. G3 data at the top. Top of it. Kaki is on a pretty low win rate. 46. I feel like that's higher in what's it called, lower RTAs, ranks, that kind of shit. So I would say this. We got a tier 3 of a train. That's pretty pog. Haven't seen that on my chat yet often. Apsa being the chuk man. He chuks. Okay, then we go for a Kinky or the dark one. I think the dark one was up here. 52 win rates. Close to 53, 6% pick rate. I feel like this unit is very strong. It does shine with good runes. But this thing, I played against how to play. He's spamming this shit with Nana. It's fucking nasty. He did S1 on my Lima. It armor broke. He did S2. My Lima was dead. I'm like, where Lima? Where Lima? I don't know. I feel like that unit is solid. It's not as solid as these two, but it is solid. So yeah, that one hurt. And now we're gonna look for Mr. Kinky, which is where Kinky? It's not used this much, nope. Oh, Kinky's right over here. 5% pick rate, close to 50 win rate. He did drop a lot. I feel like people are spamming him, or not necessarily spamming him, but overusing him in situations where the whole draft is already lost and he's just like, Kinky, solve my mess. So therefore I feel like Kinky drops, but I feel like Kinky's at least 80. Maybe even 85. If you use him properly and correct, I would say 85, but nah. He's not used properly that often. And we continue on. We go into Mrs. Nana. Well, Nana is very easy. If I just go to pick rate and I put it from top to bottom, Nana's number 1. If I put it on win rate from top to bottom and I select that units actually have to be at least 2% pick rate, Nana's at the top. Guess where Nana's going to be at? Guess. Guess, boys, guess. Straight to 100. Man, the unit is... There are counters to it, and the counters are sitting like here. That's kind of like the counters we're looking at. Nana's just hella broken still. How to make Beelzebub. Attack crit damage attack. Without Nana. Still attack crit damage attack via will. But yeah, Beelzebub shines with Nana. That's definitely a thing. Then Coco was actually all the way at the bottom of the list. Not in win rate, but in pick rate. Was it though? Oh, I have to put it at 1%. Then I have to scroll down again, because it doesn't load everything in one go. Which is kind of annoying. All the way at the bottom. So it is being used by some people. But I don't really feel like it's that great. Or anything like that. Close to that. We have about 20 minutes left for the rush to start. So I think we're on a good track. We are on a good track. How about Kiki? I don't really see that many people use Kiki. I feel like she's not bad. She ain't not bad. Is she bad? Maybe she's just not as good in RTA because of like Juno and that kind of shit. Not sure. I feel like she wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, it's similar to Nefty's, but does a lot more damage. Sup, Glorious? How you doing, man? Can you show me Sean? Sean is sitting up here at 60. I would say at least 75. At least. I feel like she's not bad. Is she, though? She's a good last pick, I guess. She's also kind of RNG in what she places. That kind of sucks. And she's a good bruiser. Because of the win rate being that less and not having speed lead. She's technically just a worse Nefties. Same as Maximilian. Maximilian is a worse Nefties. But we're not there yet for Mr. Maximilian. Would I go 80? No. Win rate is too low to put it at 80. Maybe people that are shitters, the user. We have Miles. First one to put Miles. Miles. He's miles away from... Where Mr. Miles? Mr. Miles is pretty low. 46. I feel like Miles can be good, but in most cases, you just Diana the shit out of it and he's fucking dead. I would say 75 at best. Yeah, 75 at best. Some people use him a lot, but I don't know. I don't really fear him. If his stun was actually, strip and stun was consistent, he would be like 80, but no, nah. We have John. John has a pretty low win rate. You probably do not want to use John. I pulled a John recently. Apparently it's not that great. 42. Holy shit. That is low. That is pretty low. Maybe up here. Because it has some usage if you use it correctly, but apparently, I don't know. Yeah, I guess he's not doing enough. Also, you want to build in Vio rather than the Fatal that Sion used to be. But Sion is not even... Sion on the list? Sion is actually on the list. Let's actually drag in Sion. I feel like in most cases, Sion is still better. The only thing is, you can't really place Sion against like Olivers and that kind of shit. That's just very risky. So you can't... There's less options where you can actually draft Sion in there right now. But the moment he's drafted, he has pretty good value. Because you can just go full Fatal Will, that's as much damage as possible. Whereas this thing, you want to go like some speed and some defense and some potatoes and yeah. Okay, then we have Jackson. Aha, I'm cucking the Oliver. No, wrong button. Wrong button. Is Jackson actually on the list? Jackson. Jackson has a very high win rate. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson is with Antares. That odd. That's... I expected Ractal to be higher. That is odd. Okay. But yeah, Jackson is just really strong. Probably CP or something. Against... Wait, every time they get push up... Wait. No, he's weak against Ractal. Yeah, so he's good against this kind of shit. He's very good against... Yeah, this really makes sense. The Chi, which is hella boost of Jackson and that kind of stuff. I kind of expected to be here as well, but... And he's just bad into ragdolls and that kind of stuff. He's pretty much just a passive totem, more or less. He is a very strong passive totem, but he's a passive totem because his S1 and S2 don't do too much. But I would say 85. Not too many people have been using him yet. Also, not too many people have him, but let's say I put this thing together with my Verd and Oracles. That's a lot of attack bar. That's definitely a lot of attack bar. Okay, going back and we go to Oliver. Oliver is straight up here, 44% pick rate with a 52 win rate. While Oliver, that's, I think without a doubt, we go Oliver straight 95. He's not 100, for sure not, but he is definitely 95. He's definitely no 95. He has pretty much the same pick rate and win rate as Gianna. That's insane. So yeah, definitely up there. Then we continue and we have Riley. Riley. What's the pick rate of Riley? 42, and it is even on a high win rate. Riley, of course, the best shining. If we say it for like the Dream Team, pretty sure. I expected this as high as Dream Team actually. But this is spammed a lot. It's crazy. Like, it's literally crazy. And yeah, Riley goes 92.5. The pick rate is that high. The win rate is that high. I must say, with Ragdoll together, she's 92.5. Without Ragdoll, I would say 90. So I think I'm actually going to put it at 90. Because she's that good with Ragdoll Nana. If you don't have Ragdoll Nana, Riley by itself is not going to do that much. Like, even if you don't have those units, I might even drag her one down. But since with G3 RTA and half of the people have Ragdolls, let's keep it there. Pick rate is still pretty high, even for the people that don't have her, so. Okay, we continue on. We continue on with shit. Worth something. Maximilian. We have a dark unit. Maximilian, what's your win rate, sir? Below 50, which I'm actually not surprised about. Maximilian is very difficult to rune. Because he needs damage, he needs to be fast, he needs accuracy. He's just... Where Nephthys is very easy to rune, he is very difficult to rune. Still pretty good unit, but he is not easy to fit in. And the people that have him, I think, overspam him. And therefore makes him worse. Because of course not that many people are going to have him. If more good players would have him, I think it would do better. So, Nephthys damage or tanky. You can make it tanky and still do damage with artifacts. I think Dominic is not shit. We can actually check Dominic win rate. I feel like Dominic is pretty shit. Dominic is wind 1, right? Before I mess that up. Yeah, according to this, my math says that this is a pretty shit unit. 003 win rate with a 40, or 003 pick rate with a 40. No, 43 win rate. No, that's another thing. What keeps Oliver from being as high as Nana? The win rate. Oliver still has a bunch of like hard counts. Sure, Nana also has a bunch of hard counts, but win rate is like 2.5% less. And the pick rate is less. What about Carlos? Carlos is probably a shit. But I think I'm going to end the list here for the YouTube video. It's more than an hour and a half. These units are all trash, at least for RTA. Maybe I missed a unit here and there. I don't really think so. A unit I would have liked to place in here, which is not here, is Susano. And I think Susano is like a 75. Susano is on the vampire set against like Carnals and Okeanoses and that kind of stuff is pretty nice. So yeah, that's about it. Can I debate Thessarion +5? Okay, that's the last thing I'm gonna look at. Thessarion +5. Thessarion is trying to hard counter things which are very hard to counter because most passive things are strong. So, weakness, yeah, he is supposed to counter... Oh, Rectal's not on the list, but yeah. He's supposed to counter passive. Passive, passive, passive. He's not countering passives, so that's... Yeah, same as this. Like, he's hard countered by things like passive, 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 passive. So that's... Yeah, I don't know. That just makes him pretty shit. I have Benedict. Benedict is not really used as much. Or barely used at all. Benedict Cumber Beach. Where you at? Can I not see him, or should he be in my sight already? It's annoying I can't use Ctrl F and actually type. But that's the issue of today. Maybe he's not even on the list. Under ISIS. Where ISIS? Oh, here. Win rate is there, pick rate is pretty much non-existing. Oh yeah, he has a 100% win rate against a whole bunch of units because he's been used once. Too little people have this unit yet to really give like a good value about this. I think that's the main thing we can say about that. Let's see for this. Okay, he has more pick rate, pretty high win rate. I think the unit is good, but it's just, I don't know. This Wedjat is so hard to navigate. It's too optimized for mobile, because for mobile it's really clean, really slick. But what I would like to do is I would like to open things in a new tab. Like, I can't open things in a new tab. Oh wait, if I put right mouse click, you don't even see that. It doesn't record that. Interesting. Didn't know. But yeah, I want to open like in a new tab. I want to do like a whole bunch of stuff. I want to like /find stuff. So that's yeah. That's there, that's not there. So yeah, that is it for the tier list. I am probably going to post this tier list on Reddit and that kind of stuff tomorrow. Yeah, I think pretty solid tier list. Pretty solid tier list. Nana, once again, is the highest. I think last season and the season before that, she was also the highest. Oliver is a newcomer, which is very high. Can I post yeah, I can post this here. And I'll be posting this thing on Reddit, like either tomorrow or the day after. Probably tomorrow. I kind of want to get it fixed tomorrow. So yeah, I'm actually going to... The tier list. The tier list I will post tomorrow. Because otherwise people are going to post it without me, I think. Stuff. So yeah, it will be on Reddit tomorrow. And of course it will be on my Discord. Like if you want to mention, get it mentioned when the tier list goes live. Or on Reddit, or on the YouTube video. You can check out my YouTube, but you can also check out the Discord. So I am going into Rush. We actually finished 9 minutes before the Rush, which is very solid. Oh wait, this thing actually did upgrade right now. Upsa, this is you.